from House of Chatter. I just wanted to jump on here real quick before I kind of end my, I don't know, waking day, I guess. But I had a couple of thoughts on, of course, the Blake Lively lawsuit, just real fast. So, reading and seeing what is in these deposition transcripts, something is becoming extremely clear. And it's the fact that Blake Lively's lawyers don't realize, maybe don't realize, but maybe they're realizing in these depositions that Blake Lively has told some not misstatements, but misremembering events. Case in point, if we go down the 17-point agreement, and we can do this tomorrow, but this is just a quick thought. If we go down the 17-point agreement and we compare it to the deposition, you can see that the lawyers, Blake Lively's lawyers, are kind of caught off guard. Example, when they are talking about the X scenes and how, Justin Baldoni supposedly added all of these X scenes, what you didn't expect the lawyers to, acknowledge is that someone else was pushing these X scenes, whether it was Sony. So you can see that Angie Giannetti wanted as much, scenes as humanly possible, to make an R movie. You could see that Chrissy Hall had the majority of the contributions in that script for X scenes. And when the lawyers start asking him about it, his response is always Christy Hall or, maybe Angie Giannetti. It's never him. And the lawyers don't go further into questioning because they don't want to keep talking about the other people adding or writing scenes because it's not him. It's falling on either Sony, Angie, or it's landing on another female, whether it be Christy Hall or maybe even Colleen Hoover's book, or maybe the situation with Isabella Ferrer's X scene was just her acting. And so what Blake Lively is coming up against is all of these supposed, maybe she had some gotcha moments, but then when her lawyers start deposing everybody, these gotcha moments are like, gotcha, it was Sony. Gotcha, it was Christy Hall. Gotcha, it was Colleen Hoover. Gotcha, it was Isabella Ferrer. Or it was gotcha, Angie Giannetti says that she asked about making official complaints, and Jenny Slate and Blake Lively both said no. Another gotcha moment that's brought us all the way up to this point is her 56.1 statement where she says she didn't have to use buzzwords when asked about making a complaint. So Blake Lively was obviously asked directly if she wanted to make an official SH complaint. She says no, but then she turns around and says that she didn't know she had to use buzzwords like SH complaint. So what the fluff? It puts Angie Giannetti into a bad spot because, again, remember, Angie Giannetti is supposed to have, the safety and the creative power. So what Blake Lively did essentially is she elevated her court of people that she wanted to help her take over the movie, right? The power, remember the contract, and everybody has creative decisions, and if there's a dispute, it'll be up to the producers. And so Blake Lively needed to have as many people on her side, but in reality, everybody was already talking behind the scenes about Blake and how they wanted the movie to be made. i.e., how Sony and Angie wanted the movie to be made because they wanted X scenes, tasteful X scenes, I believe is what they said. So as Blake Lively is making all of these accusations, thinking that Justin Baldoni was adding gratuitous scenes for his own benefit, right, to get his hands all over Blake Lively, that's not actually the case. And it's, hi, Jungle Vet Jill. It's not the case. It's the fact that these women are writing these scenes and Blake Lively had no idea. So again, Blake Lively is what, jumping before leaping? Or leaping before jumping? Or what is it? Where you just jump and you don't look? She's jumped into this lawsuit not realizing that Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, and Wayfair Studios were like, this is a female film. Yeah, it was, because it was written by female writers who were asking for more X scenes, which Blake Lively was hoping it wasn't the case. Either Blake Lively wasn't hoping it was the case, or Ryan Reynolds wasn't hoping it was the case. And I think it might have been Ryan Reynolds. Or maybe a combination of both. Ryan Reynolds being like, oh, no one can touch my wife. I'm jealous. I'm going to be mad. I want someone on set. I want to monitor at all times. I want body doubles. While Blake is like, I don't need a body double. We don't need body doubles. Supposedly, allegedly. From what I'm getting, it doesn't looks like entrapment. So Blake Lively, again, what she did was really, she released a deposition transcript that shows that what's happening is that she's blaming Justin Baldoni and Wayfair for all of this horrible stuff that happened on set, when it was actually Sony in charge and Christy Hall and Colleen Hoover that put their thought and the development in all of this stuff. And I mean Colleen Hoover because she wrote the book originally. And it seems like the book is R-rated. I didn't read the book. I don't know if I should read the book. I mean, I guess I could read the book and compare it to the script. But how fun is that? We're coming to the end of this trial on the 22nd anyways. This is my prediction. And I do think that Judge Lyman wants to end this case as quickly as humanly possible, because it's just a waste of time when you really read this, because you can tell that Blake Lively, whatever she told her lawyers, isn't what exactly happened at every single turn. You know what I mean? The praying, okay, he said that as part of a conversation when they were building rapport, and they were joking about it, and all of a sudden, even though they were joking about it, it's an offensive. And by the way, I will make that video on the Baha'i faith of Penn Bagley and Alex, is it Newstandler? They're both Baha'i. And I hope that comes out. I hope it comes out that Blake Lively trashed the Baha'i faith. Not like as a mean girl thing that I hope that we see Blake Lively trashing religion, because I don't agree with it. But I do agree with transparency and people talking crap about people behind each other's backs, especially about religion. That's a no-go for me. Hi, Christina. We're talking about just the fact that Blake Lively has really stepped in it, and you can tell in the depositions that Justin Baldoni and Wayfair were really telling the truth, that the X scenes were because of the women. But yet Blake Lively is blaming the men. So if this ever goes in front of a jury, we're going to see that these scenes, these X scenes, were wanted by Sony, specifically by Angie Giannetti. These scenes were written, these X scenes that they had such a big problem with, were written by other women. And so that was Blake Lively's biggest miscalculation. And you can tell in the depositions that the lawyers are kind of caught off guard, and they really don't delve into it much. You know how in the other depositions, they ask the experts, like that one meta expert, the same question 50,000 flipping times? They're not asking Justin Baldoni these questions 50 times. They're not. I have a video where Team Kaka, I talking about character traits Brandon should have, and Alex Newstander says good moral standards. He's adorable. Yeah, yeah. I wonder what Isabella Ferrer's deposition is going to say about Alex. It's going to be interesting. But you can see that everything that she has complained about in her 17-point agreement is either coming from a female gaze, as it's being phrased, or it's coming from old grievances that have been twisted into a knot where it's so unrecognizable, where you're like, wait a minute, you were offended by what? It didn't even happen like that. Exactly. I wonder what story Blake spun to each person. I agree, because it looks like each story that she has told, or we can even take it to each individual 17-point agreement that, or 30-point agreement that she has told, has been twisted in some way, shape, or form. The hugging, okay, it was the first day, and what, Blake Lively wasn't comfortable with Robin Lively being hugged. So there was a complaint. And then she complains, and what they didn't expect is that that Blake Lively's employees would in turn continue the hugging after a complaint, making it essentially an SH type thing. Blake Lively and maybe her employees were uncomfortable with the hugging. Well, so was Justin Baldoni after there was a complaint. So what does that make it? That makes it uncomfortable. That makes him feeling awkward. That makes him feeling uncomfortable, like what? Maybe Blake Lively felt uncomfortable? Or was she just using the hugging part or the hugging complaint because she wanted to change one of the first scenes that they shot, which was the graveyard scene? Robin was her employee. Robin was not her employee, but Vivian Baker was. Ann Carroll was her employee. Vivian Baker was her employee. Robin Lively was her sister, who they hired because they hired Blake Lively. Which is another thing that Blake Lively complained about. Hiring of friends. Hiring of friends who weren't real actors. Well, she got that wrong too. Sorry guys, I gotta unfreeze me phone. Okay, sorry, I got a phone call and it froze my thing. If you guys can't hear me, let me know. But what Blake Lively has done has essentially exposed all of her misrememberings, all of her misstatements, all of her, it didn't happen like that. And what's being clear is that these are patterns. Pattern one, the hugging, didn't happen like the way it happened. And in fact, it's victimizing Justin Baldoni now. The adding of the X scenes, well, they were already existing because of Christy Hall, Colleen Hoover's book, and the female gaze that Justin Baldoni wanted for the film. The body double was Justin Baldoni's idea, apparently, or maybe it was Blake's. I don't know. But then she goes back and complains about it and says she doesn't want one. Him having a conversation with her father, she's twisting around because he openly shared after he asked her if it was okay to share his religious beliefs. She says yes, but in January she says no. So Jungle Vet Jill, I think she's just a very poor historian. But you can see that in every single point. The trailer, it didn't happen like that. There was a cutting cape that was put over her. And now she wants the testimony from what? Vivian Baker sealed so that we can't see a discrepancy, maybe? She says that Sony was powerless to act, but how are they powerless to act if she did not want them to act via a sexual harassment complaint or an official complaint? If all of this was so pervasive, why isn't there more official complaints instead of complaints about the set after the wrap, like after the wrapping of the film that was done shooting? What? Oops, Angie, you missed all of these complaints. Oops, Sony, you missed all of these complaints that are now coming out. You missed that. You didn't report that. And then now you're going to have Blake Lively's Darvo expert point out Sony and put the finger at Sony instead of Wayfair. That's what she's doing. Her misremembering is great for Wayfair. It's bad for Sony. Her misremembering is good for Wayfair, but probably really bad for Claire Ayub, which she hung out to dry, by the way, because we both know that she could have eliminated some pages of that deposition or blacked out Claire's and Colleen's statements. But instead, Blake Lively only cares about her famous friends, Gigi Hadid, Taylor Swift, America Ferrer, Amber Tamblyn. Where's Colleen Hoover? Where's Claire Ayub? She didn't care about them. She didn't mention them in her wanting to be sealed. Nope. Hey, Claire. Bye. Bye, Chica. You're hung out to dry with your greed. Not with your greed, but your seemingly greed. Oh, you want your budget 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. Oh, now you have to give up a cut of your percentage because somebody else is investing in your film to get it made? Bet you didn't want us to know about that, but Blake Lively didn't care. Blake Lively's like, let me just put your crap all out there. Someone stop the fluffery. Stop fluffing, Blake Lively. Stop fluffing. She hung out Christy Hall. My husband wrote that rooftop scene. She hung out her own husband. She hung out her own husband. Actually, it was my husband that wrote the rooftop scene. Yeah. And Wayfair and all the other producers wanted to take out the cherries and your crappy dialogue. They wanted it to take out that stuff. But no, you got editing rights and you had to keep in the cringe-worthy, crappy dialogue that you or Ryan put in. And then you felt proud enough of yourself that you just had to brag publicly on recorded television that was going to be broadcasted to millions on an evening entertainment magazine TV and tell the world how your husband wrote a rooftop scene that was supposed to be a secret. Now exposing him to the fraud, in my opinion, that he might be. Because if you put that in your let me get a PGA credit, ooh, isn't that lying? Isn't that fraud? Because I know in the real world, if you did that, that'd be like plagiarism. Comments say Claire is going to have the day she voted for. Oh, she gonna get it. Because essentially what happened is now Claire Ayub is exposed for all of those production companies, for all of those distributors to see how not cooperative she can be. It's a bad look for Claire. But Blake Lively didn't care, and Blake Lively didn't want that sealed, obviously. Bye, Claire. Another thing that we can that a jury can be like, what the fluffery? Christina says, part of me feels bad about Clara because I can't imagine the toll this is taking on her mental health. Just a small part of me. I am too soft. You know what? She got hoodwinked. That's all I can say. She got hoodwinked. Jungle Vet Jill. She can't. She is fluffery. Her memory is distorted by chronic victimhood and narcissism. That might be true. Kenny Vixen. Jesse and Max. Those are the only kind of friends she has. Kenny Vixen. Yeah, you are. She is dumb and she lied. That's what it looks like. She either lied or she didn't do her research like she should have done. If they spent like August, September, October, November, December trying to get a lawsuit going, they should have been like, hey, Christy, what scenes did you write? Instead of, hey, Christy, you were dismissed, right? You felt dismissed? You felt dismissed. But then it comes out and it's like, oh, shoot, you wrote that? Shoes. Crap. What? A fudge. That's what happened. Is it Kilo? Don't feel bad for Claire. She did it for herself. Christina, Kenny with the Kenny laughing. Hi Mia. She did absolutely. Claire claims she only got $250,000 from Procter and Gamble for her side project off Empire Waste, but Justin said it was 1 million. I wonder where the 750 extra went. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know how that works. That's really interesting. And karma is coming Claire's way. Karma is coming for everybody except Wayfair. To her mental health doctor. Sorry, couldn't resist. Yeah. The hugging, well, there's holes in that. The X scenes, there's holes in that because it's from the female gaze, like he said. The trailer, holes in that because there is a cutting cape. The post-birth video, there's holes in that because Angie Giannetti knows and was shown and was like, the fluff, in my opinion, she was probably like, the fluff? Sony being powerless. Yeah, because Blake Lively and Jenny Slate took away Sony's power to act on anything because they didn't want to do a formal complaint. I think the only true thing that is in this complaint is maybe Jenny Slate being offended by the sexy comment and by the getting $15,000 to move to get a safer apartment for her and her kid for 16 days. Maybe 16 days or shorter than 16 days. Her lawyers must have been devastated after all the depositions showed there is no there. Nothing to see here. I agree. Shady Claire. Christina, Wayfair is getting their karma too. They just have good karma coming. Ooh, yeah, they do. Jesse and Max, bahaha, I just got that K. Laugh out loud. Christina. I'm not blue hair, so I can crack inappropriate jokes. Agreed. I don't even know how to get blue wrenches here. I don't even know if I can get moderators here. I'm not that special, which is fine. I don't have to be special. I just have to have a crazy 10 crown ball gown theory. But it just seems to me that the more that we go into these depositions, the more of the liability Blake has put on everybody else than Wayfair. I'm okay with the inappropriate jokes and whatnot. I mean, they go way over my head because I'm more prudish than Blake is, apparently. And that's fine. It makes the chat more fun. Just as long as it's like not offensive or too mean or whatever, I'm okay with that. But Blake Lively has put the liability on everybody else except for Wayfair. So there's Christy Hall, liability, Colleen Hoover, liability. Oh, and Colleen Hoover in that Daily Mail. Ooh. I bet you Colleen Hoover is very appreciative of that. Especially right now. Especially when Colleen Hoover is arguably going through the worst phase of her life. Blake Lively hangs her busty out to dry, probably because she does not have rights to It Starts With Us. Because remember, Blake Lively was going to follow Colleen Hoover anywhere as long as she has her rights. But now she has cancer, and I haven't seen any support come out for Colleen Hoover. And to be fair, I haven't seen any statements from Wayfair either, but I would have thought that because of the close relationship from Colleen Hoover and Blake Lively, you would see something versus where Colleen Hoover kind of like broke it off with Wayfair and was like, I'm going to flip and ghost you. Nope, I don't mean stuff unless this is the Blake and Ryan, just fun jokes. I don't know if Colleen has cancer. I don't know. I'll leave it right there. I can't really make fun of it. We don't know if it's true or not. And if it is true, we're mocking her over an illness that she has no control over. And right now, if it is true, Colleen Hoover needs all of the support and love and health that she can get because she's going through radiation. She could be suffering from radiation burns, skin irritation. It's going to be difficult for her to take a shower. You know, she might have some hair loss. She might be getting nauseated. Who knows? Depending on what area they're radiating, she can have some really bad effects. And yeah, you're not mocking her. You just don't believe her. Yeah, I get that. I saw a CC said it was a skin ablation last December. Christina says she could have it, but oh, gotta get my door. My kids are breaking down. At just 1 second. I'm gonna. Sorry, guys, kiddos. Skin ablation last December. So she could have it, but I do think that she said it for sympathy. I think she got her karma. I'll look into it, but it was something small that was overblown a while back. It could be. But I don't think anybody in Hollywood is willing to work with Colleen Hoover anymore. I mean, if anybody in Hollywood wants my life story, I'd be happy to give it and turn some lemons into lemonade. Just to be honest. I'm gonna start saying fluffy now. Fluff this, fluff that. I have to make up my curse words because my children are too young. So, yeah, I have a lot of childish insults. Like, what is it? My 8-year-old told my 6-year-old that he was chicken nuggets without sauce, and it was just a huge disappointment. And then the 6-year-old called the 8-year-old a Big Mac because he's nothing but fat. So they have some interesting food-related insults. Don't know why. But, you know, your chicken nuggets without sauce, just a disappointment, was really cutthroat to say to somebody. And so I had to put a stop to that after I it was funny in my opinion, just because where do you learn that? But um yeah. So if you hear me, and maybe Blake Lively does need to eat a Big Mac now that I think of it, because she's looking really skinny and her hair is just looking non-fluffy. For someone who's advertising her hair care company with fluffiness, her hair is flat. And yeah, but the fluff is perfect for merch. Okay, I'll do that. I'm working with eBay, so I did have a Shopify for a different side hustle I was doing. I hooked this shop up off of eBay, so I'll make merch. I think I have magnets, like 3 magnets you can buy. They're testers. So if it's a good product and you like it, let me know. It's so hard as a parent when they say something inappropriate, but also super funny. Yeah, no, yeah, they're fruit. They're food oriented insults. Do you know? And it's McDonald's. It's never like Taco Bell or Burger King. It's always like a McDonald's product. So, McDonald's, if you want to sponsor me, my kids have food insults they would love to share. Don't get mad at Colleen for taking Justin Baldoni and ruining his life because she's got cancer. Psh. Good point. It is hard, Christina. Both are super rude. I wonder where they got that. Uh, Stress makes your hair fall out. What's more stressful than trying to ruin a man's life, but it turns back to you. I agree with that, and that's what looks like is happening. You can tell Blake Lively, and I'm surprised Leslie Sloan hasn't like utilized that point. Blake Lively looking gaunt. Blake Lively, are you eating a sandwich? Blake Lively not eating due to the stress of It Ends With Us. Blake Lively unable to make her hair fluffy because of the stress from Justin Baldoni lawsuit. That's what it like. If she wanted to play Darvo, this is her Darvo moment. Not even her own hair care line can save her hair from the non-fluffy because all of this is stressful for her. I really do wish that she get a sandwich, and flip her hair or something, because it just like her hair just looks very, very thin, incredibly thin. Blake can't make her hair fluffy because she uses her own products. And she puts a lot of products in her hair. I will say that. Like, when I saw her prepping in her bathroom, and please do not eat in the bathroom. Please do not eat in the bathroom, you guys. From a healthcare provider, you guys are killing me with the bathroom. Like, the burrito, it just, I can't, you guys. I can't. No, please don't do that. Just, I'm covering a raw sewage story right now, and don't do that. Don't. But the fact that she put like it looked like she put 5 bottles of hair care spray in her hair. Do you really put that much product in your hair? I mean, like, it takes me 2 hours to straighten my hair because I just have that crazy hair. But do you really put that much crap in your hair? Is it necessary? Someone please tell me, because I'm not domesticated and I'm not a beauty queen. And I'm not fancy. But, Christina, no! You do not eat in your bathroom. I guess I should move the table out of the bathroom. You guys are killing me. Oh my God. Am I going to have to do like a lesson with you guys on E. coli? Yeah, it only takes 1 E. coli, people, and you're done. I told a resident of, oh God, where is that spill at? It's in California. and I'm blanking. Where was it? Big Lake. It was the lake, and it's going. But anyway, it's gross. Don't do that. Move all of your stuff out of there. C. diff on our toothbrush. Not the C. diff. Don't bring in the C. diff. Oh. Oh. Mmm. I don't miss those C. diff days in the hospital. You know what I mean? Where you got to put all of your pee out and then on the floor. And then you're just like, don't touch anything. Don't touch anything. And you're like, oh, there's no trash can in here to just C. diff. I don't miss that. Or a C. diff testing. Good God. Or the fact that we have to like have double checks on C. diff because everybody has C. diff orders. I digress. Good, Christina. You don't leave your toothbrush out. Clostridia, good one too. Hey, for all healthcare providers, go check out my secondary channel. It's all about health related stuff. There's going to be like little mini nursing courses there. There is going to be like stories about health and stuff. Yeah. Oh, you lived with an EMT for COVID? Fun times. Yeah, fuck that. I mean, fluff that. I'm so sorry. COVID, I ain't going back to COVID. I mean, I met my husband, not my late husband. I met my ex-husband during COVID, right? He's a respiratory therapist. My patients always went bad because I was always assigned the COVID ring, right? And so I couldn't fluff around. It's called Health and Wellness at Home. And I'll put a link in the description of this video. It's not Clostridia difficile, it's Clostridium. So the words are right. But yeah, COVID. Ugh, man, I remember you reusing my masks. I remember asking for like PPE. I remember going home being like, can I even hug my kids? And then the misinformation is what got it for me. Like I had a patient who took who somehow got the hydrochloroquine. I think it was hydrochloroquine, right? They took it. They were, there was some kidney impairment. There was some kidney injuries, but I thought that they were going to make it out. I mean, one was on oxygen. The other one wasn't. It was an elderly couple, husband and wife. I had them all 3 shifts back to back. We're planning on sniff. They were going to take the vaccine because they admitted that maybe what they were doing wasn't the best course of treatment with the kidney impairment. Went straight from COVID wing to the ICU and they never made it out. And it was just so sad. But anyways, C. diff, yeah, is horrid. You don't want to deal with C. diff. It's gross. And we can talk about that the other channel. Don't eat in the bathroom. Blake Lively, you're just like bad for healthcare workers and you're driving us crazy. All of this stuff that you're doing. And I definitely don't think she's on Ozempic. If she is on Ozempic, Blake Lively, get off of Ozempic because you don't need it. Hey, Gelth, we're just gabbing about healthcare and Blake Lively. And just, I think that we could probably go down each of our 30-point lists and be like, it didn't happen like that. It didn't happen like that. Exactly like what Wayfair said. My fat, don't say that about yourself. You do not have a fat ass and good for you for being on Ozempic. It's just, I don't think Blake Lively needs it medically. Because she's already thin. I mean, unless she has like an insulin resistant thing and an overeating problem, if she's got an overeating problem and insulin resistance and our medical team said, yeah, but girl, don't lose any more weight. You lose more hair. Stop the fluffery. But I just wanted to jump on here real fast to let you guys know that her lawyers, or Blake Lively, in my opinion, screwed over her lawyers. And it's everybody else's fault but Wayfair. And if this goes to trial, that's what the jury is going to see. Blake looks amazing. Her looks aren't her problem. True. I wonder what Aragorn is on. She's so skinny. Oh, yeah. She's lost a lot of weight. She lost a lot of weight. I'm 110 kilograms. I started at 135 kilograms. My next goal is 109 kilograms and 99 kilograms. Working on it. Plus, I'm a pre-diabetic. I was type 2. Congratulations, girl. Oh, my God. You need to subscribe to my healthcare channel and we can all talk about this. But congratulations on that weight loss. I would love to talk to you about it. We can have a group, I don't know, walking session and just gab. Congratulations on being pre-diabetic. For everybody in the chat, that means her A1C was above a 6, right? She got it down below, and that is really hard to do. Congratulations. I give you full props. Christina says, this is in regards to Blake Lively, they have to be mad at her lies. Oh, I agree. I agree. Gelf says, I'm not doing the stupid conversion to American weights. Oh, I got it. So the conversion is it's 1 kilogram per 2.2 pounds. So if you were 100, we won't go into there. But anyways, the conversion is dumb. I think we should be on the metric system anyways, because that's what they use in the hospital. And when we put in the pounds, it converts it to kilograms. So we're just dumb. I mean, as far as conversions and stuff, because who the heck wants to do all that converting? I mean, it just makes it bad, medical math. Just leaves you open for more mistakes. You know what I mean? Keep everything the same, we don't use cc anymore, right? You're not taught that anymore. It's milliliter. But a cc is a cubic centimeter, which equates to a mill. Anyways, we need to go gab on the other channel about this stuff. Millimeters is that millimeters? Does make more sense, and it's easy to convert millimeters to liters, kilograms to grams, etc. Exactly. Most of the world uses kilograms, not pounds. Exactly. Oh, I love you guys. Oh, you guys need to gab and talk about medical nightmares and someone ate a slug and ended up with a parasite in their brain, or someone ate undercooked bacon and you saw an image of a worm in the CT. Oh, it'd be good. Sorry guys. I'm just, healthcare is my first love. I mean, I spent my whole life wanting to do healthcare. Well, at least we all like to talk medical things. HOC, you missed the important message. I'm so sorry. I'm getting off track. This is about Blake and not my first love. Undercooked pork is a no-go. Yeah, it is. Ooh, my mom used to burn it. And I asked the restaurants to burn it too, because it's scary. It's one of those medical horror stories that you hear in school. Gail says, I was assistant nurse at one point, but I'm not going there. Jungle Vet Jill says, you just described my day. I've seen enough gross stuff to last a lifetime. Hard to gross me out. There's one thing that does gross me out, and I think it's a sensory thing. It's a noise thing with the suction, but dude, give me a good NG tube. Love those. Trachs, I'm not really comfortable with trachs. You know what I mean? They kind of intimidate me, and I should be a big girl and, dive right into that. It's just, trachs are just, not my thing. Everything else, though, we're fair game, you know? Especially with it's like, oh, don't flush it. Oh, let me see it. Let me smell it. You know, we're healthcare workers. We're just gross people. I'm so sorry for everybody else in this chat who we're grossing out. Gelf, Jill worked in aged care or do a shift in emergency department. Yeah, I've worked in the nursing home in a variety of settings. Nursing homes, I think, are the hardest. One tube I prefer is the ear cleaner. I never did the ear cleaner. Vets in medical field is too much for me. Jungle vet Jill. My mom was a nurse. Gelf at sick kids, so our stories were similar. Oh. So, yeah, I think what we're going to see is, at least at this trial, is a lot of these mismemory statements. And from Blake, and I hope they utilize that in front of the judge. And I am wondering, are they going to unseal everything before the trial on January 22nd? Because if they do, that is going to be a lot of fun. And I think if they do, it's going to ruin Blake's case. Gelf says, I have ear issues, and to have ears cleaned 6 months. Love it. The amount of crap it actually is both gross and fascinating. Oh, yes, ears. Yeah, you know, did you know that like the majority of isn't it the statistics of the majority of senior citizens who have hearing problems actually have earwax problems? And it's because it's covering their eardrum and that canal. And they really don't need hearing aids. But if you are going to get hearing aids, the VA, if you got VA, it covers it. And they're like amazing. So use your VA coverage first and then use your Medicaid coverage. And that's something that we're going to do on the other channel is I'm going to bring on a whole bunch of experts to give away the information that people don't commonly know. What is the best insurance plan to have and what happens when you get admitted to the hospital, things like that. Says, after reading Jamie and Justin's depositions, no way this is going to trial. I agree with you, Jungle Vet Joe. Christina, I don't know if they can do that since she's in the case, but I hope so. Kenny says she is back and catching up. Gelf says, I hope Wayfair parties launch a case against them for doxing. I hope so too. Gelf, HOC, I'm Australian. I don't pay for my medical stuff. Gelf, can I tell you? I have looked at your medical system and especially your pharmacy to try to get cheaper, comparable psych meds because psych meds are a tier 5 and you guys got some cheap meds. Cheap meds. Man, Respiridol, all that stuff was $1,000 versus a $10,000 thing that I had to pay because I chose wrong. I'm going to end this because we're going to go out and do some driving around doing food deliveries because the kids like to fall asleep in the car and it's extra cash. I will put my link in to the new health channel and we could talk about it, talk about whatever you want over there. And yeah, so let me know in the comments who else is responsible for Blake Lively's downfall. So we have Christy Hall, we have Colleen Hoover, we have Alex Sachs, we have Isabella Ferrer, all those people. So everybody have a good night and see you next time. Bye, guys.
Mom, can I have the phone?
Just once.